I'm Brendan Schaub's biggest fan. Ever heard of him? Now, you might not have been aware of that because I only talk about him 10 minutes a day, 7 times a week for about 2 years now, but I'm not a numbers guy. If you don't know who Brendan Schaub is, he's the greatest comedian who's ever lived. He dabbled in fighting a little bit before moving into comedy, where he then did 2 of the greatest specials anyone has ever seen anywhere. In any facet. So we here at Timos decided to come up with a tier list, as we call it, or a tier list, as you might know it, of our favorite Schaubisms, or Schaubinese, if you will, which you might not know if you're not redacted. But I'll explain to you, and by the end, I hope you can tell me whether it's Netflix or Blockbuster. So that's why I'll start off with one of the other greatest comedians of all time, George Carlin. You might know him as George Carlin, but I can't even say it right anymore because that's how redacted I am.
Well, who inspired, let's say, George Carlin? If he's a George Carlin. Let's say, who inspired him?
George Carlin.
George Carlin.
We talk about comedy here, and George Carlin, Mount Rushmore for sure. Deity. And that's why he's A tier. Ever heard of it? Hey, are you a numbers guy? Because I am. And you know who else is? Our favorite, Papa.
So 20% of just pure haters, then there's 20% of fucking hype boys, lovers. I'm probably over here. And then 80% is in the middle, where they're like, yeah, it's great.
He's always counting the views, which is kind of lame to always count what views you have.
This day and age, what we do, like, let's say this does whatever, 500,000 views. By the time we cut up all the clips, we're getting millions and millions and millions. So it cut down to short form.
Especially when there's not that many. That's why I'm putting it on C tier. I'm getting a little tired. I'm probably going to have coffee, but I could have Kratom. Happy Hippo Kratom specifically.
Gary, you're not,
You've been doing your Kratom?
What?
Have you been doing Kratom? Why are you scratching your neck?
You've been doing Kratom.
Have you been doing Kratom or not?
Might have tried.
You got Kratom on you? Answer the question.
Right
Look at me.
now?
Yeah, right now is my question.
In my pocket?
Yeah, do you have any in your pockets right now?
7 capsules in my left pocket? No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not 7, but 9. No, there's only one thing we can do. And
I'm not going to do that, though, because I'm worried about my health, and I think Kratom is heroin.
Thanks, brother.
Wait, is that who's doing Kratom right now?
I am.
Really?
I don't do Kratom.
What is the deal with Kratom? Isn't it like isn't
narcotic?
Yeah.
Now the way they do it, I think it's
Chin, take it from here.
It's been around for thousands of years.
Boom.
So it's heroin.
it's heroin.
No.
D tier, Papa. I don't know a lot about soccer, but I do know that Neymar's name is not pronounced Niedermeyer.
Now, you know Messi, Mbappe, and Niedermeyer
Yeah.
are all teammates in
Makes $90
Premier
million.
League.
That is incredibly redacted. I also don't really watch soccer, so I don't care about it as much. F tier. Let's take a quick break so I can tell you about my favorite comedy special of all time, The Gringo Papi.
Look at you guys.
Let's do it. Mr. Whole Foods. What does that mean? I don't know. He just called somebody in the audience that.
As he says that, he's taking a nacho, dipping in nacho cheese. Oh, my bad, Mr. Whole Foods. My bad.
He said, you're dipping your nacho in your nacho cheese. I don't know what that means either.
That makes sense.
We know who's spicy? Latinas. Apparently they're assholes. That's what Schaub says, not me. I like Latina people.
Girl spicy, right? Girl spicy. You know what spicy means? They're assholes. That's what that means. Sorry, man.
I wasn't, but I was gonna get donuts.
I remember I called my mom. I was like, hey, mama, are you getting vaccinated? She's all, I wasn't. And then, I love donuts. And
That's a conversation he had with his mom about the vaccine somehow. At one point in the special, he just says the names of Spanish food, Mexican foods. Married a Mexican, y'all. He married a Mexican.
I married a Mexican, y'all.
He goes, canelada, pico de gallo, chiliao.
Huevos rancheros.
He starts out by going, hey, Dallas.
I love you, Texas.
A lot of ladies in the crowd tonight, which is the best start I've ever seen to a comedy special.
There's some ladies in the crowd tonight.
Dallas is different. And Los Angeles is North Korea with a beach.
LA is North Korea with a beach. It's fucking... But they give us Wi-Fi, so that's cool.
I don't know. I think North Korea probably has beaches, Daddy.
Dicey.
Needles aren't touching this temple, Daddy.
That needle's not touching this fucking temple, Daddy.
Blockbuster. The best way to watch is with your night vision goggles, your Ugg boots, your big dick. Sorry about that.
What?
Be cool, Tom Brady has Ugg boots.
Be cool, Dad. Be cool.
Also, if you're on a keto diet like me, make sure you don't tell your Mexican mother-in-law because she'll think that you want to eat taquitos.
It's keto, bitch.
There's so many other things I can reference. That's why the Gringo Poppy as a whole is S tier. If you watch it, I think you'll be surprised. Another thing I think you'd be surprised about is Schaub's characterization of UFC Dr. Craig Sue.
Mr. Schaub, after you numb your lip, you need many, many stitches. This be worst pain in your life, guaranteed. Worst pain in your life.
My name is Dr. Greg Schaub. I'm a board-certified ophthalmologist. I am the UFC consultant physician.
Very racist, but also pretty funny. But that's why it's A tier, Mr. Schaub. But your lip. If you're not happy about these ratings, some would say I'm shooting for the moon, but landing on the stars.
In order to shoot for the moon, you gotta land on the stars, or you want to land on the moon, but sometimes you make fucking mistakes as part of the game. But I just think
He just messes up how you're supposed to say things, like he does often. Another one is smartest tool in the shed.
Why would he ever just take something off the shelf at GNC?
Well, we're not giving the guy kudos because he's the smartest tool in the shed.
Sharpest.
Sharpest.
tool
What
in
I
the
say.
shed. Smartest tool in the shed.
Well, tools are smart too. Might have smoked a little weed.
I can't believe this guy talks for a living and has a black belt in podcasting. It's not always just him saying it. Sometimes he uses these things in an Instagram post. Called before the storm, there was no one in the seats. Any mispronunciations he does are all C tier. What can we do next? I don't know. What else you got, Chin?
Monitoring blood pressure, anesthesia, you're also doing anesthesia, like you're just cutting into somebody's stomach, Oh, God.
What else you got, Tim?
Shouts out to that pig, though.
We've come a long way.
If you don't know who Chin is, that's the producer on the Fighter and the Kid podcast. Brendan Schaub routinely says his name wrong. They've been doing the show together for years.
Do you have that? Send that clip to Chin. Clint, do you have that chip? The highlight Kyle made?
Post that.
I've never once been like, hey, clip, play the Gerardo. That's atrocious. Gunshots can be heard in his Instagram post, but you know what else rings out in that apartment? His beautiful angelic voice.
I don't have a lot to show for these years of hard work. If you look at what I own, still she's always telling me to hold on to my dreams, even when my hope is gone.
Play the Chin clip and put that in tier B. Let's take a minute to thank the sponsors of this video. There are none. But Brendan Schaub has so many. He has so many, but not a single sale's been made because he cannot say the promo code right.
All right. So go to onit.com/Schaub, SCHAB, receive 10% off everything, supplements, all the alpha.
He can't even spell his own name right.
In San Antonio, told you guys, this is a big boy. Pre-sale is on sale right now. Promo code is THICK with 3 C's, THICC. San Antonio, Texas, Bud Light Courtyard Event Center. Get your tickets now.
Well, if it doesn't have 3 C's, it didn't come from him. Promo code D tier. How are you enjoying this video? Is it Netflix or is it Blockbuster? So if it's good, it's Netflix. If it's Blockbuster, it's bad. Daddy.
Hey, photographers, you Blockbuster. The new iPhone's Netflix.
Hey, photographers, you Blockbuster. And that belongs in S tier. It's affected my everyday life. Like when I take my girlfriend to a restaurant and I really enjoy it, I might say, this food is Netflix. And she'll look at me like I'm Blockbuster. I just go. Us doing this might just be part of Schaub's plan. Having people talk about him all the time because he is a marketing genius. He may cancel entire European tours to teach his son T-ball, but he's a marketing genius because he has a whole whiskey brand called Tiger Thick, which his own friend Joe Rogan told him to his face was a terrible name.
Brendan Schaub. I hate the name of it. I hate the name of his whiskey. It's Tiger Thick. Like, shut the fuck up.
I'm just sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
I have skeptical hippo eyes when it comes to his ability to actually market because it kind of sounds like he's not doing that well. That's why this is F tier. You think that's mean? Well, how about you define bullying, and that's also an F tier.
Callan calls to apologize to Bobby for the bullying, threats, etc.
Hey, will you clear bullying meaning define bullying for me?
Another reason he might not be a marketing genius is his use of social media. It's mainly to get addies and baddies. We saw that in the leaked text message thread. We don't know if that's real or not, but we do know that he uses the word baddies and addies. He has admitted to Adderall use. It doesn't seem to help the show, but also sometimes I think, wow, this guy could use some Adderall. Other times I think he should stop taking Adderall. It's really hard to tell because he just goes. And he's always on Kratom, whiskey, and Rogue nicotine, which is supposed to help his brain. I'm not sure about that, Papa, but hopefully it does. B tier. Man, we're having a lot of fun here. Might be going to Sizzla after this. B tier. If we actually get to Sizzla after this, we might be surprised to run into UFC great John Africa.
Listen, for me as a fan, you know, I'd love to see you fight John Africa. I'd love to see you fight Tyson Fury whenever that happens. I'd love, now that MMA's legalized in France, I'd love to see UFC in France.
Who the hell is John Africa?
No, fighting John in
John
Africa.
Jones in Africa.
Yeah, John Jones in Africa, yeah.
There's a new
I don't know John Africa, but he sounds dope.
Who the hell is John Africa? Why did Schaub call John Jones John Africa? I don't want to get into that, Papa, because it's a little dicey. A tier.
Good morning, Vietnam. Name the movie.
Good Morning Vietnam.
Who's in it?
Robin Williams.
There we go.
Come on, dude.
Ding, ding, ding. We're off to a good start.
Name the movie. How about Good Morning Vietnam? That's actually the name of the movie. He said it when he asked the question. The only way you could miss that is if you're pissing in the sink. C tier. If you're not a big alpha male like myself or any of the people that are thick boys out there in the wild wearing their thick boy merch, then you might have what Schaub would call a small dig.
Well, dude, I'll be on my bike. I'll just pull around the road. Cars be going by. I just give that big old dick out, and I just pull up. I just pull up my spandex and piss right on the road. It's like, who cares? I'm outside. Who cares?
You ain't gotta tell us
I
your
know,
dick
no,
size,
come
dog.
on. All right.
He out here, I pulled that big old dick.
I'm going to go into all the phrases that Schaub says that are a little bit redacted about digs. There's dig juice. He constantly asks for dig juice. I didn't know what dig juice was. I thought there was just Viagra and Cialis, but apparently you can drink juice that gives you a boner. If I were to threaten you, I might say something like, I'm going to eat your dick like Kobayashi.
Come to Schaub's house.
Disaster.
Your dick?
And you,
Kobayashi.
yeah, you gotta make sure that kind of.
That's something that Schaub took from the movie Step Brothers. That's also pretty redacted. Instead of saying Super Bowl, he says Super Ball.
It's so cringy. It's not like at the Super Bowl, and he dabs up his brother walking the Super Bowl, and then he looks at the camera. He's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "That's your brother, man."
Oh, okay.
He's all, yeah.
All right. Well, the other one is really cringy. I don't know.
Which is something that Schaub will never be in because he was never in the NFL. But he did throw his teammate in college through a glass window.
Gadoosh.
You might say Schaub is balls deep in dig references. He says it a lot, and it makes me uncomfortable, Daddy.
I like when this stuff happens. What'd you think was gonna happen?
Were they lovers or something?
Oh, he was balls deep in Siegfried.
Yeah. Well. Okay,
Oh, dude,
okay.
blowing those white Bengal loads,
dude. All right. Yeah.
No,
okay.
he slimed Roy out. He slimed Roy out.
Well, he bought. Don't say slime, please. He
he tiger slimed Roy out.
When searching for a punchline, it might just be a black dig.
I've raced a lot of black dudes.
And you know what's great about this? Beat all the black guys. I grew up around black guys. Nothing new to me.
Another thing he's balls deep in is fish.
Get your tickets right now at thickboy.com. If you don't get your tickets, these fish don't eat. That's not cool, right? So let's make sure these fish eat.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. Let's just throw the digs in D tier and the balls in B tier. Let me just take a minute to talk about my favorite clip. This is the famous big guys in small cars clip. You might call this the Mr. Whole Foods of clips. Let's play the chin clip now.
Here's the thing. People with fast cars, especially big guys with dope cars, the one thing people do, it doesn't matter if you're any of size, they go, how do you fit in that thing? It's like, oh, that's your takeaway from this dope-ass car? Jeez, I can't believe you fit in that thing. Yeah, okay. That's the takeaway, huh? Twin turbo Lamborghini, Aventador.
He's racing it.
Is he racing it?
Oh, at the track.
That's not Aventador. That's the smaller one. I can't. Again, it's not even hating on big guys in sports cars. I just can't. I can't believe he fits in there.
I know.
Yes, that is your takeaway, Papa. Best clip yo life, S tier. Wow, I hope you're seeing this right now. I hope I'm not.
Shadow banned.
Which is something that Schaub and Brian say often. They say it's the reason for their dwindling views, which kind of makes them sound like an incel pussy.
But my producers were like, you can't call it that. You'll get
You're cute. YouTube will flag you.
You think so? And it'll be shadow banned.
I know so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna get no views. They'll suppress it.
Right. Even though I'm joking.
Doesn't matter. Because the algorithm doesn't know you're joking.
Got it. Yeah.
So like when I say Nazi, if you say Nazis, it's Patreon. So if I go, I'm not a Nazi.
Yeah.
The algorithm doesn't know that I said
Really?
I am not. It just knows you said Nazi. So like if you say Nazi or QAnon,
Really?
Trump,
COVID.
Elon Musk, say Elon Musk,
COVID,
all
probably.
that, COVID, booster, all the vaccine talk,
Whoa.
suppressed.
Wow.
Say Brendan Schaub, suppressed.
F tier. Speaking of Brian, let's talk about his nicknames. Rinks and Hawk. Brian got gadooshed by advertisers, so they tried to start a show behind Patreon called The Fighter and the Rinks. That doesn't sound so great. D tier. If you have any questions about this tier list, you're not sure, you don't know if it's Netflix or Blockbuster, you just can't make a decision, you know what you should do? You should ask Jay.
A little fact for you, you know,
House
I
of
grew up
Dragon?
shooting bows and arrows.
I did not know you grew
yeah.
up shooting bows and arrows.
Yeah.
You grew up shooting arrows with a bow,
Yes,
right?
bows and arrows.
Now, when did you do that?
Since probably fucking 2nd grade through 8th grade.
Okay, so
I had my own bow and arrow. We go to
practiced,
the range.
you
My dad
practiced
takes us
archery?
every Saturday to the range. Ask Jay. Yeah.
Is Jay all-knowing? Probably not. He's also another bad source of information, I'm guessing.
Jay Schaub is here.
How's it going?
What? As soon as the camera's on, like, even George is like, as soon as the camera's on, he's like, oh shit.
We don't play your game, shit.
No, damn it, you have to.
I gotta remain mysterious.
Schaub makes a lot of outlandish claims. Like he says he owned a comic book store when he was a kid and sold it to old men that would come into his house.
You are into comics.
I grew up huge into comics. I collected it. I used to sell them as a kid.
Who'd you sell to? People or online?
Just people. Online, you know, I'm 37, so
Right.
the online wasn't a thing. So I opened up a little comic shop in my mom's closet. Had all my comics there.
You had friends come over?
Random people would walk in our house, and my mom made me shut it down.
Is the closet, or is it or anything on display, or do you have them
Oh
organized?
no, everything was on display and
How?
organized.
On Shreks?
Well, I had it like in those vanilla, you know, those things they look like.
Yes.
I had them all
Accordion
in there.
envelopes.
Yeah, I had all the accordion envelopes, the vanilla folders, and I had all the characters lined up, and I had it posters on the wall.
How big is this closet?
I mean, I was young, man, you know, 8 or 9, so I thought it was huge, but enough for like grown men and kids to come in. My mom's like, we can't have fucking strangers in the house.
How did people know that this was happening?
Because I stood outside and had signs.
Selling comic books in my mom's closet?
Yep.
And did you sell any?
Oh, yeah, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Were there older men that came over?
Yep. They bought them. They bought, like, but you could tell they were just there probably to fondle me, but.
Do you really believe that?
Oh, yeah, because they didn't know much about the comics. They would take like the cheapest one for like 25 cents.
Did you think something was weird at the time, and then later on you were called?
Yes. But I also, like, my spidey senses went off.
So you did even that?
Stranger danger.
Did you make money?
Oh, yeah.
So you're a little entrepreneur now, and now instead of comics, you're selling CBD.
Sure, one of the things I sell.
Did Schaub meet Carmelo Anthony? Ask Jay.
Oh, you know who we saw in my hotel? Mr. Baltimore, Carmelo Anthony.
Really?
He's from there, yeah.
Really?
Born and raised.
And he was just hanging?
He was at the hotel doing something, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing there. Massive, man, but he's from like the hood of Baltimore.
How
He's
tall?
Shit.
Did
Jay
he-
thought he was shorter, but I'm like, no, I saw him on the elevator. He's fucking huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Jay thought it was me because, you know, I always wear that pink hat and have these shorts. He was wearing the exact same shit I was. Jay's like, Brent. I'm like, you thought I was Carmelo Anthony?
Does Eminem routinely text Brendan Schaub? Ask Jay.
And Eminem's on Instagram, Twitter, social media. He's DM me. I had a thing with Eminem, right?
Where does this belong in the tier? I don't know. Ask Jay. Just kidding. A tier. One of my favorite ones, mate, is Australia, because they're 7 days ahead.
And what time is that fight at, Jen? Does it say?
I'll find out.
Australia is like 7 days ahead of us, so if it's the 12th here.
2020.
Schaub thinks that Australia is 7 days ahead, and he knows that Korea is 2 days ahead. And that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I love it.
Korea's awesome. It's so technologically advanced.
So this marketplace is so dope. There's tons of places out there.
Are
to
they
eat
2
whatever
days
you
ahead
want.
of us?
One day.
Dude, look at that.
Now, this one's in B tier, and you already knew that if you're in Australia. Schaub thinks football games are a war of nutrition.
You know, in football games, when it gets to the in overtime, when they go, "This is a war of nutrition." Nah, bitch,
Well,
for
it's not
real,
nutrition,
this is a
but
war of
it's
nutrition.
They never say
Nah.
nutrition.
They never say nutrition. It's attrition. But the point, we get your
You know what I'm
point.
saying?
I
You got
get
the
you.
point.
I
I've had
got
a
you.
lot of coffee. All right?
But I hear you. But this
You're
is
like all jacked
this
up
is
on-
a
I'm
jacked
podcast.
up.
F tier. My life was changed by this next one. It's what got me in, Daddy. It's walk me to my truck.
I had a guy that was like, why don't you walk me to my truck? This married guy where I'm like, and we know him. I'm not going to say who it is, but he's like,
know him.
why don't you give me a walk? Why don't you you should walk me to my truck. I'm like, so what? I can blow you? Like what?
Wait,
like,
who was it? Oh.
but it's just like, it's like,
Did you try to walk
Annie Letterman to your truck. No, it doesn't make sense. No. It doesn't make sense.
Whether Schaub did it or not, it's hilarious to watch. It was made into a song.
Can I get a truck walk? Yeah, I can't talk, but I'm walking to my truck.
It was on a porn website. It's been on almost every one of the episodes we've done of 10 Minutes of Schaub. It's one of our core hilarious things that we always go back to. Thank him for that clip because it brings a tear to my beer. Cheers. Esther! But everybody here is still wondering, does Esther go both ways? This is taking a lot longer than I thought, so let's just be quick about these last ones. Real quick, how many chicks you fucked? 0. B tier. Chris D'Elia wasn't even a real person before therapy. He had a real dark soul. B tier. If you're hating on this video, be cool. Be cool. A tier. Maybe you think it's atrocious. A tier. If Brian ever sees me and Gerardo in public, he'll put us in a Guadalajara heart scarf. A tier. Doesn't count what you ask me, because I'll always just respond with 8 inches. D tier. For digs. Daddy. Schaub has a genius comedic mind, but he's also a fighter, and he's also a businessman. He'll light you up, B. If you made it this far and you don't think Brendan Schaub is the greatest comedian of all time, you deserve a good douche. A tier. Maybe you just found this randomly and you never even heard of Brendan Schaub, but unbeknownst to you, he's been inside you the whole time. He's the part of us that stubs our foot in the morning. He's that part of us that grabs 3 drinks and doesn't know which one to drink. He's that part of us that puts his hand in a full thing of ice cubes. He's that part of us that says his own last name wrong. Unbeknownst. A tier. Wow, we've made it to the end of our clip. I just wanted to let you know something very important for everyone watching. Every one of these phrases are so important. I hope everyone gets that in any facet. When Brendan Schaub wants to solidify a point, he makes a point of saying that it's in any facet. So everyone watching on any device, it's so important that everyone hits the like button and subscribes. I'm sorry that I said that. Brendan Schaub is one of the greatest comedians to ever live. I really hope everyone enjoyed this video in any facet they're watching it, and everyone in any way has a great day 7 times a week. S tier. And that's it for the tier list. First and foremost, I want to thank Papa himself, Brendan Schaub, but also Brian, D'Elia, Montez, Nick, Chin, George, and of course, our best dog that ever lived, Tank. We miss you. We want you back. If you like what you saw, join our Patreon. We do stand-up reviews and extra podcast episodes. Daddy. And we'll be back next week with a new episode of 10 Minutes of Schaub with a brand new song. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. I'm running for president.